What is going on? Welcome back to the audio experience. Very excited to talk to you today about fee tiers. Why the heck are they important? David and I just got off our end of week review call where we highlighted a series of pools that we think are one to keep on the research side of things. And one of the components of our criteria and what we look at is, well, hey, well, what fee tier is it? And basically, just to summarize what a fee tier is, it is a percentage that is usually next to a pool pair. So I'll give you an example, like Sol USDC on Orca, and there are a series of different pool positions that have the fee tier next to it. And so as it might be 1% or 0.3% or 0.01%, et cetera, et cetera. And so what is that? And why does it differentiate the different pools? Well, to summarize it up very quickly is that is the percentage that users are paying in fees to use that pool's liquidity to swap their assets back and forth. So I'll give you an example. If I go to Orca and I have $100 of USDC and I want to buy and trade that for Sol, well, I can go to Orca and I can swap. Now, from a user experience, it's very easy. You say, I have $100 in USDC. I want to swap it for Sol. You press trade and then you get Sol in your wallet. So from a user experience, it's awesome. It's super easy. But when you look into the details a little bit, you'll notice that you're paying a very small fee. And actually, you don't usually ever realize that you're paying that small fee because it's so small, right? Maybe 0.1% or it might be 0.01% or it might be 1% if it's the highest fee tier, right? Um, and that's important to know as a trader, but also as a liquidity provider, as somebody that is providing liquidity into these pools. That fee tier is important because kind of a calculation that we'd like to look at is the volume that is flowing through that pool. The volume is multiplied by the fee tier, which makes sense, right? The more volume that is coming through the pool is multiplied by the fee tier, and that is how much fees are collected. Those fees that are collected are then sent to the liquidity providers, me and you, who are providing liquidity inside of that pool. And so what we're looking for is two things. We're looking for lots of volume because more volume equals more fees collected, equals more returns for us, which is great as investors. But then we also have to take into consideration the fee tier and how that relates to the volume. And so I have an incredible piece in the FAQ. It's an article that I wrote in the FAQ section in the UIG that walks you through this exact concept here. And basically what I did is I broke down the difference between, just as an example, a Sol USDC pool on a 0.01% fee tier in comparison to a 0.3% fee tier. Now, for you as a liquidity provider and as a user, you may not even notice the difference. You go, well, they're both Sol USDC pools. What's the big deal? The big deal is the volume that is flowing through the 0.3% fee tier is getting 30x, 30 times the difference in fees collected in comparison to the 0.01% fee tier, which means that the amount of volume that needs to flow through that pool is a lot less than the 0.01% fee tier to get the same results. And so we just need to take into consideration what is that fee tier. Now, to take this a couple steps farther here is based on everything I just said, we don't want to just look at the volumes of these two pools, right? So let's the Sol USDC 0.01% fee tier, Sol USDC 0.3% fee tier. We don't want to just look at the volumes by themselves and compare them and go, okay, well, which one has more volume? Because again, we need to consider, hey, well, what is the percentage that is multiplied by that volume to actually get what we care about, which is rewards and fees being collected. And so that's just something to consider when you're looking at different pools to enter, is that just because they're both Sol USDC or wrapped ETH Arrow or whatever you might be looking at, the fee tier needs to be taken into consideration in conjunction with the TVL and the volume that's flowing. So a lot more that we can discuss here inside the UIG. With that being said, go to that FAQ section. I think it'll be a really great article for you to read through. And if you have any questions on it, just comment right on that article or bring it over into one of the discussions and chat rooms where we can have more in-depth discussions on fee tiers. And a little bonus here, I did a full live stream on this exact topic. And so if you're looking for that, just make a post inside the UIG, tag me, and I will absolutely tag you inside of that live stream replay. So with that being said, we will see you on the next episode.